Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legend Symbiosis, where today we are going to see some manner of climactic action. One way or another, a climax will occur. Three things I want to talk about before we get into it right here. Number one, I am going to, no matter how this game turns out, I'm going to go back to the save from the beginning of yesterday's episode and try to play it again more aggressively. I have a tendency when I am playing on camera to play a little bit more conservatively than I ordinarily would, because I don't want to screw up in a really dumb way and then reload, and it's embarrassing. I know that kind of goes against my whole ethos of failure being instructive. I should be more aggressive, if anything, and willing to reload stuff, but it feels like more of a failure. I don't know, it's a silly thing, but I often play a little bit more conservatively on camera than I ordinarily would, and I'm trying to fix it. I also have a tendency to play more conservatively than I ordinarily would when I am playing as the cult, because small mistakes balloon into your entire empire being dead so easily with these guys. They really, really are not... Well, what I was about to say is they're really not a good faction, and that's true. But that's not really the problem. It's just that it's so easy to make a misstep that ends with your city being sieged in a way that you can't easily resolve, and then you die. So I think the combination of those two things has me playing doubly more conservative than I probably ought to. Declaring war on green would have been risky. It would have been very dangerous, but we definitely could have taken Mitanch. There were a number of opportunities where we could have just run in here and grabbed the city. And then with the 15-ish industry stockpiles, generated enough troops to maybe, make things work out. So I'd like to go back and give that a try. Thing number one down. Thing number two, this is the second time I'm recording this intro because last time, about 3 minutes into it, a package delivery person showed up to deliver a package, as they are wont to do, and just laid on the doorbell, just rang it over and over and over and over again. That is so annoying. Please, dear audience, if you are a package delivery person, a person who delivers packages, once. Just ring the doorbell once. A second ring of the doorbell cannot possibly have any purpose, and beyond that, you're just kind of being an asshole for no reason. Obviously, I'm annoyed. Thing number three, actually relevant to the game here. Leader Enemy Boss, who is in charge of the Endless Community Patch, watched yesterday's episode, and, like me, was concerned, perturbed a little bit, by the fact that green hit that victory notification, and neither red nor blue seemed to respond. And so, our friend Leader Enemy Boss went and looked at the code and discovered that a bug had been introduced in the previous version of the patch that makes that response to the victory notification less likely to occur. So, that may be why green has not been declared upon. They were nice enough to rush me a fixed version of the file. Theoretically, we should now be playing without that bug. I don't know how that's going to affect it, like if it's going to correct red and blue's current thought process, or if it will mean that the next level of victory notification that green produces will cause them to go nuts. We'll find out, but you gotta love the speed of the customer service from the Endless Legend community patch. They're doing really good work over there. Okay, now we're playing the game. First of all, as soon as we load in, Purple would like to offer us a huge number of techs, a huge number of very good techs, to go to war with red. We're not going to take this deal for two reasons. Number one, most obvious, going to war with red kills us. There's no version of a war with red that we survive at the current moment. Number two, I've mentioned a couple of times that getting any technology increases the cost of all of your researches. At this point, if we were to accept 6 technologies, it would drive the cost of Difference Engine way, way up, and we cannot afford that. So every part of this deal is extremely bad, and we are going to refuse it. Then, we're going to talk about what we're actually doing here. So, we still hope that red, at least, will decide to devour green. We still hope that when that happens, we will be able to swoop in, steal a city, maybe 2, and leave red a nice wide field to romp across as they, fingers crossed, ignore us for just a little while longer, just enough for us to get into position. It is going to take a while for us to get Difference Engine down. We have everybody on industry, which is probably right, because Climatology Guild is totally bananas for us. 15 extra science on level 2 districts is almost 15 science on all of our districts, right? It's just the outer ones at the end of the line, and then like these 2 corners that are not level 2. So this is going to be a ton of science, and at this point, a large flat science bonus is more valuable than a percentage science bonus because of all the percentage science bonuses we already have, and the fact that they stack additively rather than multiplicatively, which of course it's important that they do so to prevent you from just like spiraling out of control by stacking bonuses. Okay, so everything we're doing here is pretty reasonable. Who do we have that has moves? You have moves. We could just buy this village back. I mean, they're just going to destroy it right away, though. Yeah, that doesn't seem great. Probably what we ought to do is, I guess, just hang out. Maybe they'll come and attack me. Oh, they're going to settle the region. So we're not going to be able to maintain villages here under any circumstances. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, we might want to have these guys just bail out then. Head down to friendly territory, I suppose. And we are 5 turns away from an empire plan. To maintain our current empire plan, which I think is the thing we want to do. Yeah, I want the food. The movement is nice, not necessary, but nice. All of this stuff is crucial. Yeah, if we want to just maintain this, 1597, we will absolutely have 1597 by turn 120. That's no problem at all. That even leaves us with enough to negotiate and declare war and stuff, so we're very comfortable on that front. Alright, let's hit end turn and see what occurs. On big declarations of war, big, hungry, slavering maws descending upon these fools who would have the audacity to attempt to survive and win the game. Can you imagine? Okay, so let's get everybody back over here. Now producing 7296 science. 9 turns to difference engine. An offer of a mere 4,000 dust, which we will obviously refuse. Declare war on this empire. We shall share the spoils. Oh wait, hold on. If we're getting that offer, that means that they're probably at war now, right? Yep. Okay. Red has declared on green. Okay. So we don't want to attack right this second. We want to watch. Obviously, I refuse. There's some chance that working together, we could kill red with green? Maybe. Because, you know, taking the stockpiles off of red is just as good. Red's troops are generally better. They have much larger armies. You do have this city right here that's not really that well defended. And we have a spy in that city. We could just dump their morale. Maybe I should have taken that. I've been so focused on the idea of peeling bits off of Green's empire to feed us that I didn't even really think, what if we just fought back together? What if we were just actually friends? And then I look at the size of Red's empire and I'm like, no, that's not going to work. What am I talking about? What am I, stupid? Look at that. Look at this. And then look at that. And then there's that problem to deal with. Really what we need is for red and blue to go at it. So red's at 43% of an expansion victory. You can win the game by just owning enough of the map. If red claims enough territory with this settler and this push down here, if red claims enough territory to get to 50%, I think it'll trigger a victory notification for them. And maybe that'll get blue to turn on them. Wouldn't that be fun? Because if red and blue go to war, we can totally win the game. If red and blue do not go to war, I'm not as certain. not as certain that we have a chance. We gotta hope, though. Don't really have a lot of other options. All right, let's pop these 2 Nameless Guard out of the city. Grab the 2 units in our army that are very weak and bad. Throw them back into the city. One of these. So now this army is actually, like, relatively powerful. A lot of ranged units. Little ranged unit heavy, perhaps. But pretty strong. We can fight people with this. If we declare war on green, we will never get out of it. It will be a forever war. That said, if we wait for Red to bleed them out, we can win that forever war. And then Red might even kind of like us due to us having common enemies twice. And maybe Red will shield us from Blue. Physically. Not like Red would ever protect us. But maybe Red will be in the way and less likely to declare on me, and so Red and Blue will end up at each other's throats. And like I said, pretty sure that's literally the only way we can win the game anymore. And we're certainly not out of it. We're just not in a good spot. Yeah, I guess go check this ruin out. So you already have orders. You, I don't know what I'm doing with you. Just looking around, I guess. At this point, having some vision of what's going on with green is probably a good idea. This is a bunch of those Justiciars we saw, not incredibly powerful. It's not like green has really been our friend so far, right? They've mostly been a bunch of complete assholes. Kind of wish our spy was in Morinlock. His troops are going to run forward to the front now. Morinlock is going to be easier to hit, but I really don't want to have to fight a garrison through this much fortification. If we could drop the fortification here, it would be really nice. Oh well. We gotta play for the world we're in, not the world we wish we were in. Alright, so our glorious winter comes to an end. We have the Climatology Guild doing a better job of telling us when the seasons will change. 17 turns at least to the next winter. Ugh. Winter is a much better time for us than it is for everybody else, in addition to it being strictly better for us than summer is. So it's a real shame to see that winter come to an end. Red just researched the first victory tech. Well, alright, things are going to get a little wild here, I think. Suppose let's go ahead and finish off Tools of the Enemy. I'll say this, it's been a very interesting game. Let's just keep an eye on the situation. Blue is still only at war with purple. They're being attacked. Where? Yes. Yep, obviously. Of course. I did not sell that man. He just spawned this turn, I think. Well, do your best, little man. Oh, what a surprise he failed to defend the village. Yeah, not going to be fixable, unfortunately. We can probably keep these two regions converted. Make sure we're selling dudes. How feasible is it to buy that district? Oh, we're actually really close. In fact, we could do it this turn, no doubt. Just sell all of this damn pixie blood. What even are pixies? Where did they come from? Oh, interesting. Rexos was settled by blue, not red. I wonder if there was the murder of a settler involved in that. Well, we may see the geopolitical situation heat up considerably here in the near future. You see Green's actually feeling aggressive in this war. My experience with the Roving Clan AI has been that they love fighting. L-O-V-E, capital letters, love fighting. It's just that they don't get to declare war. But man, if you declare war on them, you gotta watch your ass. They're on top of it. So I bet we'll see some violence there. Probably, my guess is, it's not going to work out in Green's favor. Them depleting their military force is probably a good thing for us. That's a shame. I mean, you may as well just go and grab this pearl. There's not really a lot of benefit to us in hurrying them down to Rothkalor. It's not like they're going to do anything once they get there. Who else? You else. We do have to be a little cautious about our fortresses and Green's navy. When we declare, things could be a little awkward on that front. Trying to get a peek in here at their fortress. They have a couple of ships garrisoned. Huh. These are dangerous times. I do not like that winter effect very much. Oh no, sorry, minus 30% on adamantium and palladium costs. Actually, that's fine. It's totally fine. One of the available winter effects is plus 50% diplomatic point gain, minus 5% dust per declared war. That's actually pretty interesting. It would have been pretty interesting, rather, if it had showed up earlier in the game. Alright, so we're just watching for this war to break a little bit. Either for green to leave too many cities available to us, or for red to actually kill a bunch of green's army. And in the interim, we are pressing as hard as we can on the difference engine. I guess one more thing we do need to look at here. Okay, so red has a bit of a lead on us, but we actually are producing considerably more science than they are. It's possible that in terms of just a raw science rush to victory, we would win. I don't know if it's likely, necessarily, but it's absolutely possible. It is technically possible. A lot comes down to how this war works out. I do not love the fact that we are now adjacent to blue. That makes me really nervous, actually. Yep, our spies are leveling up everywhere. The reason we're not using them has nothing to do with them not being high level. Everything to do with I'm terrified and I'm waiting. How many slots do we have? We have a couple slots left in the garrison here. We should definitely produce some more dudes. I might want... Wait, do we have the... Yes, we do have the ability to produce another burrow. Well, we should probably do that. There is another curiosity, or another anomaly over here. That's going to be the formal end of purple. This is what happens when it looks like you might win. You gotta do what we do and look like you're doing terribly the whole game. Nobody wants to fight the guy who's doing terribly, because what would be the benefit of that? So, we want to get that burrow done. We gotta produce some more units, and I think we probably actually want to trade at least one archer out for a centaur from our main army. I think we're a little bit too ranged unit heavy. This composition is very dangerous, especially in the face of the pretty fast moving necrophage units and the fact that Green's army is cavalry based. Question is how many archers are appropriate. It might be 4 plus the hero. Just trade 2 Nameless Guard out for the 2 centaurs that we'll have done next turn. Means we need more centaurs. Alright, I think that's what it looks like. Keep checking the market for stockpiles. And luxuries, I guess. Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of gold. And actually, at moments where there's 9 Dust Orchid and 26 Moonleaf, we should probably just buy these, right? Like, so we don't have to worry about it later. I have lots of luxuries that I don't need. For example, the entire world's supply of Titan Bones. Okay. We have enough Moonleaf now to pop another booster right away when the current one ends, and probably after that, and probably by the time that's done, the game will be over. How long are we on the Dust Orchid booster? Another 2 turns. And our Dust Orchid dealer is still in the game. I don't want to sell down too much on that. We do have strategics as well. We really can't afford to part with almost any of this stuff, can we? Okay, I could sell some of this. I don't need this that badly. We built all the things we're going to make out of it, so... Let's take the pop booster. Trying to make sure we get this now while it's available. So gold, reducing our city upkeep cost by 50% is going to yield an amount of money that is definitely going to be more than what we spent to get it. Then we're just going to keep an eye on the market. If more dust water, or if more dust orchid becomes available, we want it. Gotta keep those science boosts running. So we have pretty minimal advantage. Like a lot of these guys just aren't doing anything anymore. These extra armies we have out in the world. Probably just gonna merge these two guys with the archer over here. I guess we could just sail them back home. These two dudes aren't gonna do anything back home. The archer at least could participate. And this ship is mostly about scouting green at the moment. So Glanda back here is not particularly well defended from a unit standpoint. Got a lot of fortification. Red's the one who declared on them, right? But these are all just ships. So they're gonna find it challenging to get any troops off of Glanda, probably. I guess the trip to Morinlock is pretty fast. Is that what we want to do? Half archers, half melee? Obviously, I want to rely on the archers quite a bit because they're very good at this point, but they're not very good if they're getting melee attacked before their turn comes up. Well, they're still pretty good. Alright, we have the influence to make the surprise declaration. We have a lot of ships around. Did that red army just run? Oh, over here there's fighting. Gotta keep an eye on this. But keep in mind, science stockpiles go to the Empire, not to the city. So they won't be multiplied by most of the things that are increasing our science. They will just be 1600 science. They are affected by, I believe... Nope. The fervent boost is on cities, not on the Empire. Do I have something attackable? Oh, there's still a village. In Rexos. Yep. Well... That's certainly not defensible. Yeah, Blue's troops are pretty alright. I guess this Berdeki's pretty bad. They have some pretty weak stuff still, but they also have some much more modern and terrifying troops. Yep, all of the villages outside of our own regions and Green's regions are going to be destroyed. And then when we declare war on Green, we're going to lose these immediately. And that does affect our science output for sure, but I'm not sure that it affects it more than the stockpiles that we would get from burning down a large city. I think we probably come out ahead on that. But honestly, even if all that happens here is that these guys keep each other real busy, that probably works out okay for us. Alright, so let's figure out, like, what do we want to do with our troops? Let's say I want both of the centaurs. They're very powerful and they have new age weapons and stuff. Is it both the centaurs in for 2 archers, or is it like an archer and a harmonite that go out? So the harmonite are weaker. They're still tough. I'm going to drop 2 archers. The archers really do, like, they need somebody to block for them. That's important. So we have the completion of our garrison queued up here. Although it's not really a full garrison because the Drider and the Justiciar are not real units. And it really is just like build ships and buildings. Or build ships and units. And probably honestly at this point not even really ships. We don't need the resource incomes. We are getting a little bit of science from our fortresses, but the loss wouldn't be a huge deal. The only thing that we really need from them is the Moonleaf. And even then, we only have one Moonleaf facility, right? Yeah, most of our facilities are providing things we don't care about. Except, I guess, extra stats to our ships. This is a pretty good facility, actually. Just we have not wanted to spend any extra resources on the sea. We got what we got very cheaply, and we've made very good use of it. Yeah, maybe I should just sail these guys home. Let's get on that. Let's get all the way up to here. You guys, I guess, also sail home, but like there's not very much value to it. There's just not any value in having them over here either. You're all set. Yeah, Red's got a lot of ships over here, but these ships are not helpful. If they had some artillery ships, they could at least be attacking the city with them. So once we have this down, if we build a district right here, it will level up that one. And then this district and this district will each be one other build away from being leveled. There's still a lot of science left in the terrain. There's still a lot of science to be had from leveling up our districts to level 2. Rowing clans have started to construct the Temple of the Earth's Core. Something tells me that they will not be able to complete that in time. Dust Orchid has come to an end. Is no more on the market. Alright, we're gonna have to do a thing here. First, though, do I want to take extra military stats? I probably do, right? We can increase the buyout reduction of buildings. Like, would it be possible for me to get to 50% life on my units? It is, in fact. Well, we should probably do that then. That looks like a pretty good Empire plan. Plus 100% influence gains related to Alliance on Empire, plus 400% influence for destroying units of your allies' enemies. That is an event that we are unlikely to get much value out of. It looks like Green's actually holding up all right here. This is what I was afraid of, by the way, when I didn't want to declare war on Green. We knew they had all those units because we'd been able to watch them build those units for such a long time. Even bad units in very large numbers can be a problem if they're able to siege your cities. Yeah, what if Green actually pushes Red back? Like, I was hoping to occupy sort of a scavenger role in this war. Just sort of pick off the weak bits of Green's empire. But if Green starts actually winning the war while building the Temple of the Earth's Core and making progress toward the Dust Victory at the same time, we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to actually fight them while they're still strong. They are at war with both Red and Blue now. Red is also at war with Blue. That probably bodes better for Blue than it does for anyone else. I'm the only person that nobody is currently fighting. What if they all just burned each other out and just left me there to win? It's not likely, but it's absolutely possible. Yeah, let's just buy out the rest of that. Okay, we gotta watch for moments of weakness. It may fall to us to defeat Green. And in doing so, we may earn friendship from Red, which would probably get us attacked by Blue. You know, we got a lot of problems. Everybody's got a lot of problems right now. The thing that I was suspecting would happen all game has finally happened. Everybody's at war. The necrophages are just consuming everything they can touch. And we are yet adrift in that sheltered bay of our own insignificance. For just a tiny, tiny bit longer. Alright, I was going to negotiate with Green about Dust Orchid. Market ban. Inconvenient. Dust Orchid. How much do I have? 9. I only need 17 now, thanks to our reduced number of districts. The game is freaking out. Performance is getting terrible. That is, without question, an element of there being so much military stuff happening all at once. Do I have anything that they're willing to trade for? They don't even want my pearls anymore. They don't like any of my techs. I think we might just be done, then. I think the odds of us declaring war on Red are pretty low, but man, they'd really love that. We have a food stockpile. That's cool. I'd like that, but I'm not going to be able to get it. I'm assuming that, like, getting unbanned from the market is completely infeasible. Yeah. Yeah, they just don't want anything that we have badly enough to actually make trades anymore, which means that if they were to declare Cold War on us, we'd be stuck. Well, we gotta count these as dead no matter what, I think. So green has not managed to push out on red. Red has a limited number of action points, if you're wondering why they're not just slaughtering everything. They probably attacked already this turn. A lot of green dudes. I really wish our spy was in more unluck. At this point, it would not be valuable to move our spy over, because it would take so long to establish the amount of infiltration points that we need to be able to hit that city. We got to keep an eye on the war between red and blue as well. Because at some point, it's going to be appropriate for us to pull something on one of them. We could go for a 30% reduction in their science output. Or I could wait 11 turns and have it be a 40% reduction. But as long as we're still actually above them in science output, I don't need to do that. Oh, we're not anymore. They have somehow spiked up quite high. Well, so that's the thing I'm going to want to do then. I'm going to want to crash their science. The question is, do we try to wait until we hit max rank? I think we probably do. I need that hit to be as big as it can be when it goes off, because the security of this city being at 60% means that we are likely to get caught when we do it. And that's going to have the twin effects of probably meaning that our spy becomes useless and making red very angry at us. So let's be cautious here. Would you believe it? I'm advocating for playing slowly and conservatively. In this case, though, it's both the right thing to do from a not dying standpoint and the most effective thing to do. Makes me feel a little bit more secure about it. We need the necrophages to not be concerned with killing us for as long as possible. I think I want the ship, like, sitting in here, right? This provides us with a little bit of information about what's going on this landmass. And I don't really need to watch that city, I don't think. I'm going to have you sleep. I actually am going to pop out one more ship, and we're going to have this ship come down here. What are you... Just go around them. What? Sorry, boss, we can't go down into the left. There's a boat there. Terrible. Alright, you guys, just don't ask for orders for a little while. You are where you need to be. And in fact, we can give our incoming ships a little bit better orders as well. They may... I'm always a little reluctant to give multi-turn orders across the sea because of weather conditions changing and the ships not automatically repathing around that in the best way. Some of the time, at least, but I think that's where we're at here. So, if we were to lay down another burrow, is this the most sensible spot to put it for the purpose of gaining the level up? Yeah, each level up of a district is 15 extra science, right? So this is probably the best spot to put it. I'll level that district up. So we have to balance our growing need for military units with the fact that we still absolutely need to be increasing our science output. When we drop the big science penalty onto red, we have to be ahead by enough to win the game through that. Then again, blue's military strength is greater than red's. Blue may do some damage to red that will have an effect on those rates. Okay, another victory notification. Yep, blue's getting close to an expansion victory. They will not be able to achieve an expansion victory without wiping out most of red. Symbiosis is now actually pretty good at spying. Man. So you're producing 18 points per turn. Maybe it is worth jumping Symbiosis to Morinlock. And Matanch is definitely like the optimal city to take from a stockpile standpoint. But it's also very awkward to just go over there and fight it. I'm gonna move her. Maybe that's a bad idea. So she starts again from level 1, but you can see she's gonna level up quickly. And we don't necessarily need Morinlock to be completely defortified. I don't have any idea what to do with you. I guess just come home. You were headed to here. Yeah, if we can catch Morinlock without defenders, which it seems reasonable that we could do, we only need a little bit of fortification drop to make that a viable target. Is watching this eagerly. Okay, so here comes the eclipse. I guess this is a good reason to have left troops in the other... But you know what? In the cities where... or in the regions where we are safe to move around, we have the Urkans who can search ruins for us, so... Okay, blue's making progress on a lot of victory types. Yeah, blue's getting pretty big, and there's actually nothing we can do about that. We absolutely cannot fight blue in any way. I wonder if we could have hobbled blue enough in the early game to make pink more capable of surviving, and then with pink's help, you know, like... I wonder if we could have had enough of an effect on the shape that the world and the diplomacy ended up in to put ourselves in a position where our path to victory wasn't quite as narrow. Also, I should probably be, right, market ban, never mind. I'm gonna say I should probably be checking to make sure that we're, like, not missing stockpiles, but I couldn't possibly. Yeah, I think part of the problem that Red's having here breaking through is just that they're not bringing enough armies. They have a lot of troops, but they have those troops stuffed into a small number of armies. They need to be able to initiate more battles than this. Also, green really is getting to use a lot of units on each battle, but remember that there's a limit to the number of units that can actually participate. There are only 6 rounds, and there are only 2 reinforcement tiles by default, so you can only bring in 12 additional units, and some of those units are not going to have a lot of time to participate in the battle. It is possible to get a hero upgrade if you have the right kinds of heroes that will increase your number of reinforcement flags to 4, and then you can jam 24 units in. Another Empire completed his roundup sequence in the city of Mok. Really? Blue just randomly decided there might be a spy here and attempted to detect him? The spy was partially wounded but remains hidden in the city. I wonder if somebody else spied on him in Mok and we just kind of caught collateral blowback here. 507 dust, 507,000 dust of the 777. Yeah, here's my concern now. If I give you Signal Core, you'll let me back into the market. That's interesting. Signal Corps will make Green better at fighting by increasing the maximum size of their armies. I'm not sure I want to do that, actually. I don't know that access to the market is valuable enough to us at this point. Red is certainly pressuring Green to take all of those troops that they built and move them to the front. I'm just like waiting for my opportunity here. I think I'm going to refuse this. I don't think I want market access badly enough. Remove your spies, or we'll use them to feed our young. Listen, you do what you feel you have to do. We should probably use that spy for something, then get him out of there, though, honestly, because Blue's just going to keep doing roundups over and over again and wounding him over and over again until they finally manage to remove him. So we could crash their morale. That might be the best thing to do. We'll leave them there for 2 more turns, and then we'll crash their morale. Try to make them weaker at fighting. Because actually, I don't know that I want them to beat Red very badly in the war, and I certainly want Red to be able to focus on their war with Green a little bit. Okay, see, they're actually now properly sieging Matanch, and they brought a Guardian with them. I am pretty dismissive of the Guardians. In general, it is my opinion that you can get a lot more value out of a group of normal units that cost the same combined set of resources as the Guardian. Guardians are very expensive for what they do. But the Water Guardian is one of the ones I like more. I think the Water Guardian and the Earth Guardian are definitely more interesting. The Dust Guardian has mind control, which sounds like, oh, that would obviously make him awesome. He's surprisingly bad. Really remarkably weak. So we can damage fortification at level 2. It would be best if we could get to level 3 or 4, but time being what it is. Also, we don't know exactly where they're building the Temple of the Earth's Core. I'm going to assume it's Doyak. Just because Doyak's their capital and it's probably their best and most developed city. We should probably be keeping an eye on that. They are 15% of the way through the construction, so not really a concern. We could also see from that table that Red is still only at 1 victory tech. Okay, sorry, I should tell people to complete their orders, and then... How many people do we have that still need movement? You just need to get back home. Just go around them. My units are so mystified by the idea that an enemy unit could be in front of them. It's like, well, now what am I supposed to do? Who could possibly deal with this? Alright, let's see what happens at Matanch, because I think they're going to have a hard time actually winning the fight just because of the sheer number of units there. But if they're keeping all of these units under lock and key, so to speak, it makes it way more viable for us to go after Morinlock. Are these land units that are coming ashore? No, those are boarding vessels. That's a hero. Morinlock has a hero in its garrison. It does have 3 militia. That hero's pretty well statted. It would be a pain to fight that guy through a lot of fortification. I know Greed has a lot of dust right now. And we do need to be worried about that, but I'm just like trying to figure out how... Oh, good. Right, I gotta remember to reapply the dust, the Moonleaf. 69%. Like, we gotta go... Okay, that was the Moonleaf running out, that notification. So I did not leave it off for any time. Okay, you also get your infiltration points all the way up. There's a big battle going on here, and unfortunately our units are within the battle area, so they are locked by the ongoing battle. And there's some stuff going on over here. Let's bring a lot of ships forward. How many turns are we talking about on level 3? 4 turns. You're going to get your level up next turn, and then we got to hit that decrease morale almost certainly. I'm surprised at how little pressure Red is able to put out, but I guess it's just Blue having declared on them from the other side, right as their war with Green really kicked off. They're moving a lot of stuff forward. And their troops are way better. They do not have a proliferator up here. That's worth noting. The Necrophage, the big Necrophage war machine, is pretty reliant on proliferators to generate Battleborn. It's weird to see them not have any at the front. I guess this is not a full health army. Maybe it did have proliferators in it, or at least one. I usually like to have 2 in a well-developed Necrophage army, but the AI does not always do that. I mean, they're actually, they're pretty okay units, too. They don't do a ton of damage, but they do a meaningful amount of damage. So what does our science look like relative to Red's right now? Oof, it's lower than Blue's, too. How is everybody gaining so much science? I guess the answer is, they're still gaining territory. Here on turn 125. Alright, we're going to pick up Difference Engine, and then things may shift. We need to be prepared for the shift. Because everybody's going to get the notification that we are now working the science victory. Let's see how that turns stuff. Now remember, Green cannot declare war on us. They definitely won't, but Red and Blue might. And if they do, we certainly don't want to find ourselves also at war with Green at the same time. So I suppose there's some accidental wisdom in not having declared on Green by now, just because if we have any chance of survival here, it's going to rely on us not being at war with everybody. Alright, that's 1 tech toward the science victory. The Blue and Red are both very mad at me now. I would not be surprised to see Green drop us to Cold War at any moment, and we will not be able to buy our way back up. So we have some interesting options. Now that we've bought the obvious must-have difference engine, there are a couple of interesting choices available to us. These techs that have a big resource depicted on them just double your output of that resource. So Endless Alloys is valuable for helping us produce more troops. United Empires Council is actually probably pretty bad right now. It does double your diplomatic point gain, so it can be useful if you're close to the diplomatic victory. Again, we are really not. Diplomatic 32%, yeah. But the ones that I'm most interested in, actually, are self-driving plows, which doubles the... well, adds an extra 100% on top of whatever other modifiers you have, obviously. This is the thing that is most relevant to continuing to increase our science at this point. But there's also the Serum of Iteru, which will increase the life and damage of our units by 50% each. This is pretty important for self-defense. It's going to take us 11 turns. Ooh, man, that's high. It's going to take us 11 turns to get the next victory tech. With that being so slow, I think we have to go for the food bonus. We have to just keep producing population, both for the boroughs and for just having more people in this big blue column. Yeah, I think our victory progress is too slow to go after Serum yet. Serum is probably next. Right, it probably looks like Serum and then like that, I guess. I don't know that it really matters after Serum. The dust and science, or the dust and industry output ones, at least they give us a little bit more science in that they allow us to accelerate the building of the boroughs that we are building. but food is still the major controller of how many burrows we're allowed to have. And nobody has declared yet. Alright, let's go ahead and massacre Blue's morale. 6 turns, -2 morale. You know, we could wait 7 turns and get the big reduction. It's both more morale and longer. What we should probably do, actually, is have a look at the city. So it looks to me like they're not currently doing another roundup. Let's talk about how security works and everything. So you can see here there's a security value. A city that is at fervent approval just sits at 40. And then there are other things you can build that will take it up the way, you know, which is a thing that we have done. When we perform a spy action, there is a 52% chance that we will not be caught, a 37% chance that we will be wounded, an 11% chance that our spy will immediately be knocked down to 0 health, and a 0% chance that we will be captured, which not only removes the spy from us, but it gives them the spy to use as a diplomatic term. You know, they can arrange for its release. You can be captured for an awfully long time before you get out of jail, so at this point in the game, a spy being captured is essentially us losing them forever. If he were doing a roundup is a procedure you can initiate in a city, which reduces all of these values by half, but slowly cranks up the security value of the city, and when it hits the peak, like 5 turns after the start of the roundup, I think, it does a check against that result table, and that's how our spy got wounded in the first place, is the security value went up, and then they rolled the die on the table, and it came up wounded. So if we attempt something, we could suffer for it. Although with his security value where it is, we're not in a tremendous amount of danger. We also could, if our spy gets found out, we could anger Blue even more and cause them to attack us, which may or may not be a big deal because we know they're also fighting Red. We don't know like how much military they would have to devote to fighting us. We certainly don't want to be at war with them if they're not at war with anybody else. If they're distracted by another war, it might be fine, actually. They might, you know, just send a couple of armies that we could maybe hold out against, and then we might be able to negotiate a peace treaty. Them having a big morale penalty while they're fighting Red would certainly help with that. How's our guy in Red territory doing? He's going to be level 5 in 6 turns. What I kind of want to do here is just hit both Red and Blue with the big morale penalty. But we might have to hit Red with the science penalty. On the scientific thing, they're still listed as 20%, so they still only have 1 of the techs done. I believe that we will not receive a notification when they go up to 2 techs, but we will get one when they hit 3. So we're just going to have to watch the table here to know when they hit 2. We're walking a real tightrope here in terms of not being casually obliterated by one of the vastly more powerful other players. Morinlock is now showing only the 3 militia in the garrison. So we can damage the fortification by 25%. That's still a lot. And then we'd have to fight the hero and the 3 militia with, 600, 500 and something points of health on top of their 500 and something points of health. No, we have to wait. We also have to see if we get declared on. God, winter cannot come soon enough. Winter's probably going to be pretty awkward for other people. They probably have some governors who have winter immunity, but I bet they don't have very many. And we're not seeing a lot of, winter boroughs built. It really is a shame for us that we had a super long summer followed by an extremely short winter. As the game goes on, the winters are supposed to get longer and longer. Okay, Blue just hit their first victory tech. Definitely a thing to worry about. Okay, there's the declaration of war for blue, which means we can no longer afford to fight green. We gotta be ready. And blue's gonna take a bunch of our fortresses now. We're gonna lose all of our fortresses probably pretty quickly. Also, had a population born. Show me that. I need to sell him. Right, market ban. Yeah, not such a big deal, really. Blue's moving his ships around. He is definitely going to go and fight fight all of our sea stuff. We're going to lose all of our sea stuff. Like I said before, this is not that big of a deal. Our fortresses are no longer giving us huge benefit. Here's a concern, though. If I divert guys to try to fight blue, I guess I don't have to move at all. We're close enough to the places where blue might come in, and we're fast enough that it's not going to be a big deal. Do your best. Combination of zone of control from our enemy and all of the seaweed means that we do not get to move very quickly. Yeah, but our home region is small enough that we can probably afford to stay here and look for that good opportunity, because we really do need to find... If we declare war on green at this point, we're just going to die. If blue fights us at all. It's possible that that declaration of war will not be followed by troops. Because blue is busy, right? We're just going to have to hope. Can I please join? Okay. The UI is becoming very unresponsive. I don't know how clear that is. But there's so much stuff going on in the various wars. I assume red and blue are fighting a lot because they both had extremely large armies. Yeah, there's so much stuff going on here that I don't really have the ability to press the buttons or tell my troops to do things. I'm going to try to get this archer home. We got to be ready for blue to come across the border. I am trying to save up for the big morale penalty on red and blue. Hopefully our spies will be able to pull that off. Okay, green just got their first victory attack. They are not in competition. This is villages getting destroyed, or, yeah, ships. Well, whatever. We have no hope of surviving any of this stuff. I guess I could have retreated there and wasted some of their time. That would have been the right thing to do, but in the end, it's not going to matter much. We'll retrofit you if you make it back to land. So at this point, green is the only person who can't attack us. That makes me definitely less likely to declare on them. Maybe we should threaten Rexos. You know what? I'm going to go over to Rexos. Green, you and I are best friends forever. Is blue seriously going to run around in green's territory for the purpose of attacking my stuff, but leave green alone? Is that what's happening right now? Because the fact is, we could... oh, wow. I was going to say we could sail over there and do something with that low fortification city, but that's a lot of units that they have right there. So blue is sieging Artem. Note that we have a very rocky, cliffy shore, so we can actually prevent them from landing on our shores a little bit here, utilizing a technique that I have employed in the past, where you just put units on all of the shoreline. And you know what? We have some garbage units that serve literally no other purpose, who can just kind of stand on the little bits of shore that we have poking out here. This will not work in the long term, because we are not going to be able to block our whole land border this way. And on the land border, they could just attack us. But it will keep them from performing any, like, commando raids on our shoreline, at least. One of these bad preachers to stand right there. Okay, and then I think every other tile... Nope, this tile is not cliffed. This has the added benefit of freeing up room in the city garrison, so we can build more units. You cannot build units if your garrison is full. Feels like we're pretty doomed here, to be perfectly honest with you. I wonder if turning on green earlier would have done anything other than kill us. Let's see. You guys are good. I'm gonna put all these guys into sleep mode. These do not ever move again. So converting this village at this point would gain us the exploitation of 2 additional tiles, but would lose us a point of population. Because our population doubling, our converted villages give double pacified villages give double population building doesn't work on converted villages. And I think I'd rather have the extra science. What are the yields down here? Yeah, there's not a lot of science to be gained from doing that. Self-driving plows is not coming across very quickly, though. How's Green's victory condition doing? Out of curiosity. It's like now everybody's a victory threat in a bunch of ways. Green's at 80%. What if we just managed to make an alliance happen? You think there's any hope of that at all? Probably not. They're not even willing to unban us from the market. They're not going to ally. Then again, maybe they feel they need help in the war. They really did want us to declare war on Red, didn't they? They're gaining about 5% victory progress per turn. That doesn't feel like a real victory. But neither does sitting here and watching them win the game by themselves. And unfortunately, there's nothing I can do that will, like, crash their empire-wide... We're going to do it the right way here. There's nothing I can do that will crash their empire-wide dust the way that you can crash people's empire-wide science. Yeah, I don't know, man. That, honestly, as lame as that is, that might be our only hope to see anything other than a defeat screen. Hey there, Green. Can't help but notice that you're making it difficult for me to move around. May I please get on the... Okay, you finally got up there. Yeah, the UI is real rough right now. Oh, I'm thinking like these spaces are safe because they couldn't come over here. Because they can't just enter my borders. We're at war right now. That's absolutely not how the video game works. They totally could just come over here and land on these spaces. We're just going to set up guards along the shore. If you want me, you're going to have to come in over land the way that you very easily could do. Okay, this is bad. I would love to take Rexos. If for a moment there were not 10,000 troops around Rexos, I would go right over there. These are good units too, right? Like, Necrodrone 15 has 295 attack, 200 damage, yeah. Yeah, if they were able to attack us, it would be really bad. Let's have a chat with Green about the virtues of friendship in a world ruled by murder bugs. In fact, if I declare war on Red for him, he will absolutely ally with me. We could be the best of friends, he says, you and I. He went for Dust-Driven Distillery first, which makes sense. That's a real lame victory. I mean, I managed to survive this far. Mostly through hiding and diplomatic manipulation. But at this point, I think in order to have any other outcome here than Green wins the game, we would have had to have attacked Green. And like I said, we're going to try that. We're going to load up that save and try that. Alright, I think this is the only way this game can end. We could have attacked Green earlier, but it would not have resulted in us being able to win the game, I don't think. If we had attacked Green earlier this episode, I mean. It would have resulted in Blue winning the game. If we attack Green much earlier and use that much earlier attack to gain strength, then maybe. We'll give it a try, certainly. Right now, I'm just going to declare war on Red. Is this the dumbest thing I've ever done? Probably not. Would you mind coughing up some cool stuff for me? I mean, it doesn't matter, right? We're just going to sit here and let them win. Sure. I'm in. Best friends forever. I'm going to change this up a little bit. We're going to move our hero army away from the shore. I'm going to spread this army out over that shore. Because we got to be ready to take on the red armies that are going to come in via the thing here. You know what? I could probably take Artem. What's in Artem? This is where our spy is. So Iraku here, very badly injured by the battles that they've previously fought. They do have these Battleborn, and these Battleborn are scary. There's no two ways about that. But we have a spy in this city, and he's high enough level to drop the fortifications to 0 for us. And then it's just my 8 units, or my 9 units, because hero, against their 8 units. Except not really 8 units, because this hero is going to die the first time he's attacked. He does have 416 attack. That's a very impressive number. And if we don't destroy the city right now, they're going to complete a Guardian. This is not, in my opinion, one of the better Guardians. But wouldn't it be cool if they didn't do that? Okay. Talk myself into it. This is a settler. He is not a real concern. Alright. A spy. Is this better than just crashing their morale? Yes, probably. So that city has a security value of 60%. Our spy... Wow. Our spy managed to roll the nothing result on the table there. 1 in 4 chance. You can see they have 20 bonus security from the Inquisitor's Divinity building. That's the same thing we built to increase security. Is it lame to just grab the oh no, also I am winning victory here? Yeah, kind of. But at least we're contributing. You know, I'm doing something. Let's get as many of the healthy Nameless Guard as we can in on this. We're going to get my city garrison, right? Yeah, we totally get the city garrison, so that's awesome. We should... Hold on. Siege. Also convert. Wait, converting doesn't cost my action point or anything, does it? No, it doesn't look like. Check it out. Now we have this idiot to participate in the battle. Is Andom the Seer ready to fight? He's totally not. He's really not. Well, let's just give him some cool gear. Oh, hey! Captain Piku's sword. And this cool pot we found. And also you can have... yeah, he could use the order. Hey, that's... Yeah, that's alright. Let's do that. Okay. Endom's ready. The Nameless Guard in the city is ready. The Centaur is ready. Let us contribute a small amount to this victory. So Endom's probably first in the order. So the way that Last Stand works with heroes in city garrisons with a governor is that he will not be able to die unless all of the non-militia units from the garrison die. If these two die but militia survive and Andom gets zeroed out, he will actually be wounded. It won't matter because we have 1,000,000 dust. We can just buy him back from the academy. But that would happen. All right, I'm contributing. I'm helping. So do I want the archers to be this far back? There's definitely, you know, morale benefit to starting in city spaces, but I'm wondering if we just morale ball up, that turns out to be better. So their Battleborn are faster than we are, but only their Battleborn. Battleborn have only 2 movement. So this is actually pretty good for us. God, they have a lot of health, though. So they're going to be able to attack the 3 frontline troops here. Can't do anything about that. I'm going to move... We got to remember the disease. The necrophages will inflict a disease on us with their melee attack, and then the disease will spread whenever a unit dies. A unit that dies with the infection gives it to all adjacent units that are not immune to it. All of the necrophage units are immune to it, but non-necrophage units in their army, such as Iraku, are not immune. So it's possible he will just die from the infection. Our units have 4 move and 3 speed. I think we actually really do want to start way back here, because we have so much movement that we can run in and let them have it. Alright, I have no control over what order the units and the reinforcements come in. Let's hope it's good. So what I would like most is to kill Iraku. But my suspicion is that we will not be able to do that. He's standing far enough back. He's going to hit us for damage and a half because of his extremely high attack value, but his damage is so low that it's actually not really meaningful. We can wait until next turn to finish him off. He'll move forward on his turn, and then we'll be able to do stuff to him next turn. And on the Seer, with his very high numbers and his 1,000 health, is going to run forward and just like totally butcher some dudes. He has only 2 movement. He doesn't have any movement trinkets, so we should probably have him targeting on... See, you move after he does, so he should be targeted on a Battleborn. There'll be at least a chance of him getting a Battleborn. I guess he can just move here. That's fine. So we want our Nameless Guard. Remember, the Nameless Guard actually have 4 range because we have the bonus range point. I think we want the Nameless Guard really focused on the Battleborn. Like, all the way focused in on the Battleborn. The Flyer is also scary. You know what? Let's focus the Flyer. Because we could deny him his turn, potentially. That would be really good for our units, who are over here and kind of squishy and very vulnerable to his high-speed shenanigans. You are almost certainly not going to get your own turn, but if you did, you should attack those guys. You probably are going to get your own turn. Keep that dude right where he is. Okay. You are also probably going to get your own turn. Alright. The big battle. Listen, I'm trying. I'm trying to contribute here. I'm trying to earn my keep. Harmonite aside, our units are actually very elite. They should be extremely good at fighting. Yeah, we're going to see a lot of like us doing full damage to the enemy, not necessarily getting as much damage as they would like, us doing over 200 damage per hit. My concern with these enemies is not any one of our armies going up against any one of their armies. Against any army currently existing in this game world at this moment, I would put money on our army. But I have definite concerns about the number of other armies that we will have to face afterward. Except in this case, where the game's going to end. So you're going to run through and get that kill. No, you're not. Never mind. You're going to fight... I don't know. At this point, it matters a lot less. So I don't know if you saw it, but this guy got hecatombed. When he dies, he will explode and deal damage equal to 30% of his max HP to all of the enemy units nearby. That's a largish number. I'm not too worried. We have a lot of health. Yeah, we're probably fine. But I'm going to try to knock him out if I can now, while he's still only near 2 tough units, before anything goes horribly awry. This guy has 188 defense. He will die when we hit him. Okay. Alright, never mind. Problem solved. He explodes. It's not that big of a deal. Remember, we have that constant regen from our trinket. We also have a lot of disease on us. Yeah, in case you were curious, this is, or some better version of this, is roughly what would have happened if we had attacked any green cities. We would have absolutely run them over. But the counterattack is a real concern. Andom is a total combat monster. He is easily one of the best heroes in the game. I really, really love Andom the Seer. Here come all my militia, and at this point we don't really need to give orders anymore. The fight is over. Alright, unfortunately the round does continue. the round does finish, so all of our diseased units will take a tick of disease damage. The Harmonites are actually immune to the disease on account of being made of rock. So that might have been a good reason to keep the Harmonite on our side. Hey, look at that. We're blood brothers now, I bet. Okay. Here's a thing that still does something. And Greenblade obviously would also like... So, you know what? Greenblade's going to make his army winter immune. It doesn't matter, but there is going to be a winter soon. Alright, we're back. We came back and we brought 16... We brought all the science stockpiles. It's going to go ahead and hit all of those. And, you know, may as well, right? Okay, good news, everybody. We get to build more units. This is where I become fuzzy on what would have happened next. Because we're going to get to fill up our garrison with the stockpiles. And that's powerful. We're going to get to run extra science stockpiles, although you'll notice it didn't have a huge effect on our turn science output because the science stockpiles are hitting the Empire, not the city, and thus not being... affected by any of our multipliers. We do need to get... You know what? I'm going to have this guy do it. Congratulations. Kekator, I found a use for you. We're going to have you block this position over here. Yeah, none of that is my concern. My concern is what happens when our city gets sieged because we got attacked by 5 different armies owned by the same player. Fortunately, that shouldn't have time to happen here. I think it is very unlikely that we see the punishment for our actions before our ally wins a dust victory. Go. Go. Okay, there we go. Vision and map embargo. Wait, why did you... Come on. Come on. That's fine, man. Vision and map embargo, you got it. As long as we remain friends. Could you please finish this movement order? Is that the settler? Because I will run over there. Okay, let's go kill that settler real quick. Oh my god, it is so hard to get commands in. I'm being attacked elsewhere. It's the fortresses, I'm sure. Okay, but attack the settler, though. Please. Please attack this. Please attack. Okay. Alright. We'll just engage in battle from over there. Obviously, this is not a thing that we need to manually do. That'll show him. Red is like the only player whose settler we had not killed up to this point. So that's... Yep. Fortress down. You get two notifications when an empty fortress is destroyed for some reason. Here we just retreat to make you have to attack us again because I'm a jerk. Wait. Stop. Yeah, come down here. I want to search this ruin, which I've never gotten to search because Pink closed us out of their territory so early. Cool, it was full of hydromiel. I've never been happier. Let's pop a hydromiel booster in celebration. Also, probably these emeralds, plus 30% fortification on our city. Hooray, we did it. So it seems like Green still doesn't trust me, but I did just make their lives way easier, like so much easier. And you know what? Where's Chaka? Chaka, are you bad at combat still? Yeah, you're pretty bad at combat still. Whatever. Chaka, get over here. Get over here and give me a science boost again. Look, we're doing it. Self-driving plows down to only 5 turns, you know? So yeah, well, like, was this a route, us doing this to Green and then using the industry stockpiles to survive while using the science stockpiles to push along to victory actually possible? Could we have done that and succeeded? I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure. So that's why we're going to try it. So now... This needs 2 districts adjacent to it. Well, building here levels up that, so we should do that. I should prioritize the borough pretty highly, I think. Let me... Hold pop this up here so I can see it all at once. Yeah, let's get that burrow done. You are good. You are in sleep mode. The real good news for us here, and something that's not necessarily true if we attack green at the beginning of yesterday's episode, is that there's so much going on for red and blue that they don't have time to focus on us. There's so much going on for red and blue and green that they don't have time to focus on us. If we were to attack green in a situation where the other players aren't yet at war with them and they get to solo focus response, I don't know how that turns out. I want to say my suspicion is that it would be bad for us. Alright, we finished building that burrow. We still have the population for another one, so let's throw it down. Right there, just even more burrow. Every turn we'll finish a burrow and also a unit. That'll show them. I cannot interact with the UI right now. In case you were wondering why I play 6-player games, this is part of it. Okay, yes. I understand. This village, unfortunately, cannot retreat. It is slain. Looks like Green's village, or Green's city on the island is under siege. Yep, you cannot retreat. This is the fortress that has the one ship in it. Alright, it's having a hard time processing the battles, probably because Blue's engaged in a lot of battles right now. The blue AI is very pressed at the moment. We're seeing combat over here. We're seeing units locked by being in the area of a battle. Okay, there it is. I was going to say there must be a red army nearby. We have very impressive health regen right now, so we are almost back at full, even though some of our centaurs took a lot of damage. So we're ready to fight red if that is necessary. Come on, let me look at this battle. Okay. Here our guy is just dead. That's the it's one of the ships that was attacked by blue previously. Blue and red are collaborating on the sea to make my life difficult. Are they still at war with each other? Yes. Both of them are at war with every other player in the game, which is just kind of how necrophages ought to be. Just real quick. 91%. It's you and me, Merla, to space. He's gonna break our alliance on the final turn, I bet. That's what I would do. No, it's probably not, but it's definitely something I would think about doing. I would think very hard about it. And I would laugh. I would laugh while I was thinking that. So he probably doesn't win this coming turn, right? He probably wins on 133. And then we take a little ride along. Then we explore some alternate history, and then I might play another cultist game, because I don't know. We won, and I did a lot of work to get us here, right? To put us in a position where we would be capable of fending off other players' attacks, and obviously capable enough that they're not attacking us, despite the fact that they're all, aside from the roving clans, pretty aggressive AIs. The Broken Lords love to fight. But also, a lot of what happened here was luck. Oh, Takari Mu. Takari Mu, he's one level away from being able to crash their morale pretty badly, and actually that's going to help Green a fair amount. Alright, what happens here? Red's army is looking pretty big and pretty tough. It does not have an action point right now. I'm going to put my own army in front of Chaka. They want to fight Chaka. We want them to have to engage with our army, not our Urkan, because if they fight the Urkan, our units have to stream in slowly over the reinforcements. But if they engage our army, Chaka gets to show up all at once, and then his lice follow in. Like, that's a way better way for that to happen. Yep, we lost another fortress. Not a big deal. If you're wondering why I'm not scrolling around the map to show that stuff off, the little bit of accidental scrolling I've done just now hopefully answered that question. Game is very hard to operate at the moment. And this is just the AI being extremely busy, as far as I'm aware. This isn't like there are too many units and my graphics card is freaking out, because this game is from 2012. As far as I know, the thing that's happening right here is just the AI choking the game engine. Having too much stuff to think about and do. But the point I was making, I don't feel great about this victory, because a lot of this victory is green winning and us managing to just kind of hold on and make them hate us just barely not enough. But we did have to do manipulation of the diplomatic situation to get here. We did have to appease them over and over again all game. Like, we definitely paid a price to be able to be in the place that we are in. I just don't know if I feel like it was enough of a price. So I think we're going to see a game over screen here in a moment. And it's either going to say we win a shared victory or green has betrayed you and won without you. No, are we not quite there? Did something happen? Green's at 97. Okay. They changed something up. They're not progressing as quickly as they once were. Alright, let's run a single unit out of the garrison here. Apparently, there's a space right there where it was possible to move in and out of the water that I did not have blocked. Which is just amateur hour stuff from me. Cannot build another burrow until we get to 34 pop. Whatever. Build me, you know what? Build me a coastal battery. That'll show them. In case they do attack us with an artillery ship. And I guess we'll take our level up on end on the sea. If I were to hit end turn right now, it wouldn't do anything. Which is why I'm just kind of like screwing around here. None of these actually provide any benefit at all, right? Sure, if he searches a ruin at this point, it should have stuff in it. Alright, we can probably hit the button now. Nope, 5 remaining battles. There's a lot of games still happening out there. It's just that we're not part of it. Did I miss something? Oh, it's that. Okay, nobody help them. Don't you dare sail over there and fight that army. Sorry, sisters. Blue has taken the city on the island, and now they are destroying all of our villages in a very predictable fashion. But the only thing more predictable than them doing that is us not caring about it. Okay, now we should see the screen. I mean, we made it to the end, and we had enough stuff to offer green to keep them on side all game and to eventually allow for the alliance. We have ourselves in a position where declaring war on red not only did not kill us, but got us a little bit of temporary benefit. Just that one red army that we saw running around down here, by the way, totally capable of really doing a lot of damage. And we know they have more stuff because they're currently sieging out Green City down here again. The game is very close to being a total disaster, and it is only green potentially producing enough dust that is going to save us. I am going to crush the blue army's morale now. Our spy was badly injured during the action and returned to the academy, but the spy action always goes off. If the resources were spent, the thing happens. Okay, so I gotta move this preacher. Please let me click on my preacher. Do this tile, and he's got to get there like right now to prevent blue from landing here. This tile's totally cliffed off. We're fine. Yeah, alright, we got cover. You want to fight me, you got to come in via Chaka, or via this very soon-to-be red region. And green is still not quite managing to put it together. I'm starting to get a little nervous. Okay, now they're at 100%. They're close enough to rounding. We no longer have spies in Red or Blue's empire due to one of our spies being injured and the city we were spying on being destroyed. And I don't care. We're going to hit the end turn button, and please, for the love of God, let that end game screen come up. Things are rapidly spiraling out of control. I think we maybe bought exactly the correct amount of time. Because yeah, here come the blue armies via land, and we will not be able to resist if they run like 3 armies like we saw defending this city over here. We could defeat any one of them one-on-one, probably. The second one would be a real problem. And especially if they were able to get one into position to siege our city so that the city reinforcements are not available to participate in the battle, that second army would slaughter us. So, cultists have achieved victory, maybe should be in quotation marks, but we did something. We participated. There should be a participation ribbon on this screen somewhere. Alright, I'm counting that as like half a victory. That's something. We did something. Like I said, that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time on Monday. We're going to start again from the beginning of yesterday's save and try to take the game in a more aggressive direction from there and see if my instincts about us just getting wiped out are correct or not. Because I think it is worth rechecking those. And then after that, we may immediately start a new cultist game where I try to win on my own, a little bit more properly. And we'll see you then.